And she said, yes, he played with the Broncos, but Mr. Mingo is just like you. He needs to get his GED to move on or whatever. And I want you to treat him the same way as you've been. That's all we want is a chance. We don't, if you're better than us, prove it.
I retired in 1970, middle of the season of 70. I've done several things. I became an inspector for the railroad, and from there I drove a cement truck, and then I got involved with alcohol and drug counseling. My wife was involved in that, and from that time on, it wasn't me. And I decided to look for work, actually. Before I became an alcohol and drug counselor, this lady took me out to where they were building this place in Parker called Parker Valley Hope. And I interviewed with Ken Gregoire, and he said, well, which college did you go to? And I said, I didn't go to college. He said, oh, well, to be a public relations man, you would have to go to college. He said, let's see what Dr. Lipo would say about it. So he invited me out to meet Dr. Lipo. Dr. Lipo heard my story about me. I asked him, he asked me rather, if I would come and go to work for him. I said, sure, as a driver or public relations man. He says, no, as a counselor. So for 10.5 years, I went to alcohol and drug counseling and became a CAC 3 counselor. Well, there was a player by the name of Davis that played with the Green Bay Packers. After my first year of becoming the first black field goal kicker in the AFL, I was back in Akron, Ohio, and I was working out at my old high school, and one of the players that I was playing with, I'm sorry I can't remember his name right now, he and I were working out, and Davis came down and he was working out, and so the guy I was working out with said, yeah, Gene's, he made history, man. He's the first black field goal kicker, and he really can kick that ball. And Davis said, oh, you're a field goal kicker? I said, yeah. He said, well, that won't last long. I said, why not? He said, because I'm going to tell you, they don't want you, and they will get rid of you. So, you know, this was after I had won the first game and everything, and it sort of established that I was a field goal kicker.
Gene Mingo electrified the crowd of better than 20,000 with a magnificent 76-yard punt return down the sidelines.
An original Bronco, Gene Mingo
Played 7 positions for the Broncos, from halfback to fullback to wide receiver. I would have been the first quarterback, black quarterback, if they hadn't brought another quarterback in. And I was injured, Frank Chapuca was injured, and since I could prove it, I thought I was going to start as the quarterback for the Broncos. Well, my high school years go back to junior Bantam football when my cousin Dean asked me to join him in playing football. And I told him I didn't want to play football or whatever. So he finally talked me into going to practice one day, and he asked the coach, could I try out for the team, and I did. And well, before I tried out, the coach told me to get a uniform, and then I tried out for the team. Well, a week after I joined the junior bantams, Dean was attacked by a boxer dog, and the nurses at the children's hospital didn't put a tourniquet on Dean's arm, and he passed away on the table. Dean was faster than me, smarter than me, better looking than me, all around better looking than me. I just had lost my best friend, so all I thought of was making myself better. And we had moved from where I was born, 326 Berry Avenue, across the tracks, as they call it. It was Rhodes Avenue. We moved over about 3 blocks into the white neighborhood. And my cousin had moved up the street they were the first blacks to move across, and we were the second. And everything was going great. We intermingled, if you want to say that. We joined in with we had a good time with our neighbors. Well, Mother, like I told you, Dean had passed away. Mother wanted to go over and view the body, and we walked over to the house, and at the corner of Rhodes Avenue and Berry, I left Mother, and I ran up, and it was going in the side door, and my Aunt Honey, Dean's mother, was up at the top of the stairs saying, Lord, who's going to be my baby? Who's going to be my baby now? And I heard her say that, and I thought I was doing a big thing, and I said, Aunt Honey, I'll be your baby. And I had reached and grabbed her hand, and I never felt so much pain or hurt in my life. She said, you can't be my baby. You're a quitter. And I told her I will not quit again. And I hope I've lived up to those words. I played 10.5 years of pro football, and I didn't take any stuff off anybody, and I tried to do the best I could. You've got to realize some of that was back in the 60s, and to be sent from your home base to Little Creek and Fifth Base, where most of the players were white then, and most of them were all-American football players. They were officers or whatnot. We had a few first class or whatever with Oceano Naval Air Station, over to Little Rock. Little Rock was the amphibious base. That's where the submarines were. And I went over there with my cousin, who actually didn't make the team, but his name was Ted Rivers. Teddy, we went into service together, and they sent us both over to Little Creek and Fifth Base to play football. I made it, Ted didn't, and I tell you, I did so many things there. As far as race goes, I didn't understand there was a race problem until one day we were out practicing, and one of the white Southern boys, players, began to show his animosity or ignorance about the situation. And the coach blew his whistle and said, we're not going to have that. If you can't play together and be one, he says, I'll send you back to your base. And after that, the guys seemed to gel together. And I remember what shocked me was one night Ted had taken the car that we had went to Oceana, Little Creek base, and he had gone to on the beach. And my girl that I was messing with at the time, she called and said, I thought you were going to go out. Well, the guy that answered the phone was a white guy. I was laying in my bunk. And I wasn't going to go because Teddy took the car. And surprising out of nowhere, I heard this, hey Gene, hey Gene. And I turned around, he said, he tossed me his keys, car keys. He says, take my car. This was a white guy that had used, he was strictly prejudiced. And he said, take my car. And it shocked the heck out of me. And I did take his car, and I went out on the beach and came by, and came back and I thanked him. But yeah, as far as prejudice goes, that's where I learned about prejudice, more or less. I don't think there was a prejudice bone in my body. I always treat people with respect. Graduated from elementary school and went to high school. My freshman year, I made the varsity football team. You got to remember, I was 2.5 years older than most of those kids that I was in high school with. And I played sandlot football with my brothers, and those guys, they were much older than I was. And I guess that's where I sort of developed some toughness. But I made the varsity football team, the high school, and actually won the city championship by blocking a punt, scoring a touchdown, and playing a hell of a defensive game. That was, I heard or saw in the newspaper, the Akron Beacon Journal, that the Denver Broncos were starting up a new team, and that they had signed this halfback out of Fort Carson, Colorado. And I said, well, to myself, if Paul Brown, the Cleveland Browns, won't give me a shot, why not try the Broncos? And just so happened, Dean Griffin had seen me play, but I had wrote him a letter, and being that my spelling wasn't that good, my sister Bertha, who has passed away, she critiqued my letter, and we sent the letter to Dean Griffin, and he sent me a contract back for $3,500. That's how much I made the first year, and not much more after that. I knew that my Uncle Jesse, who didn't talk to me for almost 3 years, he had taught me how to play baseball as a catcher. Now, he played for the Birmingham Braves, Josh Gibson, quite a few of those guys. I wish I could remember the names he mentioned to me, but he taught me how to throw from a catcher's position without even coming out of my stance. I could throw you out at second base. All they had to say, he's going or going, and the pitcher would duck, because I would throw the ball at the pitcher's, right at the pitcher's head, and the ball would be either waist or knee high for the second baseman or shortstop to tag the guy out. It all depended on who was there. But my uncle didn't talk to me for 2.5 years because he wanted me to play baseball.